my god, lads, we are back, and this has been potentially the most dramatic transfer window that I have ever done. It has taken forever. There has been some huge transfers, some massive bids, some big players leaving the club, and a whole host of new players coming in as we've just passed deadline day. Let's see how we've been getting on off camera. So there is realistically only one place for us to start with this one, and that is the transfer of Harry Kane. We talked about it in the last episode. I genuinely think he's going to go in real life. He needs to go, right? Because he's not going to get the game time at Tottenham. He's not going to sign a new contract as well. So the move had to be done. I did it. 72 million to Real Madrid. I mean, his value now is absolutely insane. And he's already scored 2 goals in 3 appearances for Real Madrid. So it's frustrating to lose a player of his caliber. But that kind of money coming in, that's where the rebuild begins. Now, I have signed a lot of players for actually not that much money. We boosted this team a lot, but we still have 61.48 million in the budget. I'm probably going to go from the least impactful transfer signing to the biggest one. So the least impactful, obviously on budget. He's probably going to have one of the biggest impacts in the squad this season, but in terms of budget, around 17 million. It's a good deal for Josip Sitalo, and I think I'm going to play him as our starter this year. He's going to play ahead of Eric Dyer. I think he's got a ceiling that he is yet to reach, so that's why he's going to be playing ahead. The 22-year-old is the first transfer. The next transfer that you guys basically knew about anyway was Vanderson. I'm happy to have him in. He had a shocker of a debut. I don't really want to talk about that. His average rating does not look good so far because he had a shocker of a debut, but we're going to bed him into the team. He's going to learn the language. He's going to settle in. He looks extremely good. Next up, though, was a transfer that I wasn't expecting to make, but I am so happy that we have made. It's 21 million for young French central midfielder Fm23. Now, I wanted to freshen up the midfield while getting out the older players, and Dembele has left and Lo Celso have moved out of the club, and bringing in someone who's going to be good for the future and we can start betting in now was what I wanted to do. So I'm really happy that Fm23's come in. He's going to get a lot of game time, and I mean, overall, he just suits how we play. That 15 stamina, the determination, his work rate, teamwork, and he's pretty good technically. He's a decent passer of the football, and he doesn't mind a long shot, good first touch, good dribbler too, so really suits that Mazzala role that we want to play in the centre of midfield, and he's going to improve to be a superstar. Next up was deadline day signing Marcus Edward returning back to England and Tottenham, and here he is. I mean, he looks fantastic. I needed replacements out on the wing. At the minute, in terms of wingers, we are very, very slim, and I feel like we only had Kulusevski and Son. So this window, I really pushed to bring in those forward players, and Marcus Edwards came in on deadline day for 24 million. It could rise, but still, I mean, this guy's fantastic. He's extremely quick, good acceleration. He's going to dribble past most people. Am I valuing his crossing? No, because we're not going to be using his crossing. He's a good passer of the football as well. I would have preferred higher work rate. I think we can afford to have 1 or 2 players in this team that don't have ridiculous work rate, so I'm happy with him. I really did make a conscious effort in this transfer window to raid Sporting as much as possible. I'm a fan of the team, and I'm a fan of their players, and I'm also a fan of Pedro Gonçalves. We've gone in for it. I don't know. I signed him after Harry Kane went because I look at him, and I mean, this guy can, without a shadow of a doubt, do a job up top. So he's multi-purpose. He's going to be in the team when Son can't play, and Son is getting on a little bit. He's still in his prime years, but this is the future of that position. Think of like when Liverpool signed Diogo Jota. This is similar, but the injury proneness has hit us already because he's instantly injured. He's going to be out for another 2 to 3 months. So I'm hoping the injury thing is not going to be something that becomes consistent because that could really hurt me. But he looks like a beast. 17 finishing. Well, that doesn't really matter that much in the game. But I mean, he suits what I want out of a striker, but he also suits what I want out of a winger. Now, I am well aware that I may have just fallen in love with the Portuguese league because I love managing in Portugal, and a lot of the teams have underrated players that we can sign. And on deadline day, I went in for Evangelson. I needed a Harry Kane replacement. Pedro got injured, and I still weren't sure that Pedro was going to be Harry Kane's replacement. I'm trying to play with a pressing forward this year just because I think the role is very good up top. And I mean, Evangelson, at 22, Brazilian, looks like he suits that role perfectly. I am so unsure on whether Richarlison will do anything in the team, and you'll see that by the results that have gone on off camera, but this is the deal I made. The 22-year-old is in. He loves big games as well, which I absolutely think is fantastic for this kind of team. At 22, he's going to increase in value. It wasn't a ridiculous fee. It was 27 up front, could rise to 37. The biggest fee was around 50 million for Pedro. Again, that's with additional clauses. The way I've structured a lot of it is not monthly installments. It's going to be heavily based on player performance. That's what I like to do because I think we can safely say that he is going to be worth 40 million if he meets the 50 goals and 50 games he has to play. So that is exactly what we did. But yeah, all around, this guy is just a beast, and I think he will bag goals for us, and that's exactly what I felt like we needed. We were never going to get a like-for-like Harry Kane replacement. Now, we did look at some players, though, that could have been more star-studded players that might be like-for-like, but I don't think that is how we should be doing this rebuild. I think we should be rebuilding the team with unknowns and youth players and slowly building the squad into signing these kind of players. Victor Osimhen is heavily wanted by a lot of teams, Man United, Real Madrid, so if we had gone in on bid, which we had the money for, to be honest with you, I don't think he had that much interest in joining us, and I do think he would have gone to Real Madrid or Man United, most likely Man United because Real Madrid signed Harry Kane. I thought about it. I genuinely thought about it for a second, but that's not really what we're trying to do, and I've went with Evanilson, although I was also tempted by his strike partner at Porto in Taremi. This guy's a beast, in my opinion. I really like him, and he definitely suits the pressing forward role, like, no doubt. He would have been an extremely good pressing forward for us. Like, he would have been fantastic, but again, we went with youth. That's kind of the movement we're trying to build here. And I mean, the Tottenham board don't really want me signing players who are 30 years of age anyway. Even though he is in his prime, I thought he would get a big move because Man United again linked with him, as well as a couple of other clubs. But I mean, he never got the move away. Newcastle, Inter, Barcelona, Man United, just it never materialized for him. But that was the transfer window. 365 million spent and 213 brought in. I mean, we can go through a few more of the players that went. Obviously, Harry Kane went. Knew about Emerson, Højbjerg, we finally moved out. And Dembele, we moved out. Sanchez, Reguilon, again, it was a struggle to get some of these players out of the club. I'm not going to lie. It was a real struggle to get some players out of the club. Now, Lo Celso did go, but it was a loan deal in the end. There's a fee in there. I think if he plays like 20 matches, he'll go on a permanent. But this now is the squad we're rocking with. And we're going to be taking on Chelsea today. But you're probably wondering, how have we got on off camera? And after our opening day win against Fulham, we took on Manchester City in a boring game. Boring performance, boring game, but Erling Haaland missed a penalty. The goalkeeper saved it. We had one shot on target. We take these victories against a big side. Things took a very rocky turn after that, though, as we get our first defeat of the season against Brentford. They scored 2 goals pretty early on, just completely destroying my defense, but Kulusevski comes on back from injury and bags a goal. Breathed a tiny bit of light into this game, but we never stood a chance. And after 2 very good wins against Luton, one in the Premier League, one in the Cup, we could finally get back on track by beating Brighton 3-1 in the Premier League. This was one of the better performances and where we really probably started to hone the tactic. They did score in the 93rd minute with João Pedro, but a goal from ex-Brighton player Yves Bissouma, Kulusevski again on the score sheet, and Perisic, the substitute, coming on and scoring would make this one a 3-1 victory. And with those results, that currently sees us sat 6th then in the Premier League. And I'm feeling pretty comfortable with a 6th place position, but we do take on Chelsea in today's episode. It's going to be a very tough game. They are a rival, and I believe we actually take on, is it Arsenal after this one? Yeah, so Arsenal straight after Chelsea. We're going to go back-to-back with this one and hopefully pick up some good results. With us going back-to-back, though, that might make this episode slightly longer, and in that case, I think that deserves you smashing the subscribe button and hitting the like button as well if you enjoy the videos, boys. I'm excited for this series. It's taken a little while to get to this episode because the transfer window just took so long for me to do. There was a lot of thought process going into what was happening, but let's pick the team to take on Chelsea and hopefully we can get a decent result. One of my biggest questions here is whether Richarlison starts up top or I just go straight in with Evanilson. Richarlison did have a good game last time out, but I am going to do it. We're going to bring the new boy in. Apart from that, we are going to leave the squad as is, though. We are going to have new player Marcus Edwards on the bench, but he's coming back from an injury. But Rodrigo de Paul won't be able to be on the bench for this one. He's out injured as well as Pedro. So this will be the bench, much stronger than what we had before, so it makes me feel a lot more confident. And I'm going to try and stick with the same starting 11 as much as possible. Although some of these boys are tired, I need to get that familiarity up as quickly as possible. We can make substitutes when needed. I think Marcus Edwards will have to come on for Kulusevski, but as you can see, both right wingers not in great shape at the minute. And Richarlison maybe could come on for some, but let's hopefully go out and get a win against Chelsea. Now, a result here could really highlight where we are in the grand scheme of the league. In my opinion, it definitely could. We can beat Chelsea, then we go and do something against Arsenal. Who knows? Might happen, might not happen. That is going to help us a lot. Now, for the game, it hurts my eyes. We're putting the glasses on. Of course we are. But yeah, let's see. Let's see what happens here. I think it's going to be a difficult game, but I feel like with the way the tactic is now, we seem to have been in our stride. They've signed Ward-Prowse. Don't score instantly. That would be the worst way for us to start this game about 5 minutes in. This Chelsea team's good, but Nkunku's giving the ball away, and here comes Evanilson for the first time. That's fine. He's a good passer. We can slow it down, link up play nicely, use the wide areas. Maddison into Kulusevski. Kulusevski has started red hot as he gives the ball away. That is such a commentator's curse. But he's back on the ball now, and hopefully we can build again. Pedro Porro into Kulusevski. What's he going to do? Oh, Evanilson on his debut. He's offside, isn't he? How is he offside? I thought Kulusevski was going to find the back of the net there, but it is Evanilson in the end that taps it in. It's going to go to VAR, surely. And they're going to give it as offside, are they? The goal stands! Evanilson, in just, 7 minutes of his debut, bags a goal. A lot of this is due to the play down the right between Pedro Porro and Kulusevski, but we will take this through Kepa's arms. Lovely. Well, I am hoping that signing is going to be the key turning point for us being a top 4 side this season. I don't know if we could do it, but you need to beat the big sides to do that. And, well, I'm pretty happy right now. I'm even going to praise the boys a little bit. I'm going to be kind to them. I'm going to praise them. Now, I nearly signed another centre-back. We decided against it in the end, so I'm hoping that doesn't come back to bite me. Now, going into a Chelsea highlight here could be painful. We are really good at pressing and winning the ball back, but I just really can't deal with them scoring a goal straight back. Because if the following highlight is a goal, Vicario is so good, man. He saves that Haaland penalty. And people said don't sign De Gea, so we didn't. And we stuck with Vicario, and I'm glad we have. But so far, it's been a game of not many efforts. But it's a game of not many efforts that we're winning. As long as we keep winning this game, that is all that matters to me. Now, I'm definitely going to have to make changes at some point because we are knackered. But as we go into the second half, nothing happens for the rest of this game. I'll be happy. It does look like Kulusevski's going to have to come off. He's not particularly playing well either. He's not that long fresh back from injury, so that worries me. Lukaku's always going to win that. I don't think we've got enough height. Can we win the ball back here at all? And Kunku, they're spreading it out wide perfectly, and this is dangerous. And Raheem Sterling, of all people, scores a header. You just can't let Raheem Sterling header football. He is not a tall enough human being to be able to head the football. I mean, who is near him? No one, basically. Why is that Son? I've got Satalo with Lukaku, which makes sense. Pedro Porro's there. Kulusevski's there. Romero is out of position. Well, Satalo's actually out of position, isn't he? So maybe we blame that to him. We do. I can't believe we've let him win that header. Instantly thinking maybe we make some substitutions. Chelsea could be in the ascendancy a bit. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. We got tired legs. Marcus Edwards, welcome to the pitch for the first time. Medicine for Fm23. I'm going to actually play Bentancur now on attack. So I genuinely believe we're good enough to get the win now. Pedro Porro is knackered too. Let's bring him off. Satalo is knackered. I don't really have the ability to make all the substitutions here that I would want to, but I'm going to bring Satalo off. I'm going to bring on Eric Dyer. Not really happy with what I saw there. Let's see if those substitutions have a big enough impact for us to get back into the game. I'm thinking about going positive, but I'm also nervous about going positive. The last thing we want to do is lose this. A point against Chelsea at home isn't a bad result. So Vanderson had a terrible debut, subbed on now. Let's have no mistakes from you, Vanderson. And let's get the ball up the pitch now for Marcus Edwards has been unleashed. Marcus, debut goal or assist? Went for the chip, didn't he? Went for the spectacular. Should have probably played it into Evanilson. Does give us a corner with some momentum swinging our way, but when you're kicking the ball into Edwards there, that's not the right move. He is very short as well. Bentancur did score in the last live com that we did. Destiny. I mean, it's going to be difficult for us to break him down in that position. I think when we win the ball back and break, that's our best opportunity. It's what we're very good at. But we need to be more clinical. And as time goes on in this game, the scrappier the game gets, it might go in our favour. That's not a bad ball over to Son. Can we work an opening now? Heung-min Son's cross is shocking. That's not bad from Destiny. Evanilson's going to make it 2-1. That's going to be 2 on his debut. And that man might just be the difference maker. Harry Kane who at this point? That's right, Tottenham fans. Get your Evanilson shirts. I think I gave him number 10 as well, or number 11. I think I gave him number 10. But he could be the difference maker this season. From behind, basically. What a goal. Now, I do have one more sub, but I daren't make it. And I daren't tweak anything right now because we once again are winning. Now, we did make the final sub. Bentancur come off, Sarr come on. And I'm just praying that this clock ticks down. It's 4 minutes. Don't be anything happening in these 4 minutes. Tottenham Hotspur are going to beat Chelsea at home. That will make the fans very happy. And Evanilson, the new signing. If anyone doubted it or anyone questioned it, you won't be now. He bags a break. Before we jump forward, though, and get into the Arsenal game, I didn't point out that I did try and sign Manar Solomon. Like, I tried to get the deal done because it's happened in real life. So I tried to replicate that. Now, I'm looking at Ashley Phillips as well. That was something that was mentioned in the comments. But Manar Solomon, I mean, he got injured. So I genuinely tried to sign him, and he failed his medical because he's going to be out for 2 to 4 months. So, I mean, that's why we ended up with the wingers we've got. I would have been happy with him as well. He's a pretty decent winger. I wouldn't mind someone a little bit quicker, but I mean, he's really good on the ball. He's not bad, is he? He's not bad. I don't think he's probably good enough in terms of the game right now for what we've done with the team, but he's not a bad winger. And we did at least try and sign him. I'll probably go back in for him in January because I want to at least get the deals that they're making right now done. Now, for team selection for the Arsenal game, though, this is how we're going to line up. I am changing absolutely nothing because we want to get those lovely green lines. And this is our best starting 11. Minus maybe you could rotate 1 or 2 players for other players. This is our strongest 11, minus Christian Romero now being injured. Luckily, it's not a long one, 3 to 9 days, but literally got injured the day before the game. So, I mean, that's a bit frustrating. Regardless, though, I actually fancy us in this one. They've just drawn against West Ham, who, weirdly, West Ham are top of the league. But they've just drawn against West Ham. This would just continue that run. I think, more than anything, just don't lose this game against Arsenal. We are the away side. And, of course, this is our first North London derby since we've been in charge. I have to think about that. But just don't lose it, lads. Just do not lose it out there today. And maybe our force pressure can force them into some mistakes. But we already know that Arsenal... Wow, Gabby Jesus, that was awful. Arsenal are a good pass inside. But if Gabby Jesus wants to do that for the rest of the game, that would fill me with confidence. Kulusevski needs a much better performance after his last one. Wasn't good enough. Keeps it in. Maddison, Benton, Kerr, and we take the lead. Only 3 minutes in. Well, okay, we'll take that. Not too shabby. It was good work down this right-hand side. Kulusevski doing what he needed to do to keep it in. Drills it into Maddison. Maddison's ball's great. Benton's touch is good, so is his shot. So, I mean, there's a long way to go in this game. But if we can continue this, that would be lovely. Now, 2 highlights in quick succession in the opening 10 minutes doesn't fill me with the biggest of confidence. But I do feel like if we nail our passing going forward, we are outnumbering them quite comfortably. They seem to be very happy to commit bodies to the midfield. So if we move the ball out of midfield fast, there should be space. Speaking of fast, Destiny is so quick. He's going to whip it in. Evanilson! Oh, I thought that was going to be his 3rd goal for the club. That was dangerous. We move forward a little bit now, but I can only hope that this is not going to be a successful moment for Arsenal. This is kind of carbon copy. Oh, God, Jesus. Well in Eric Dyer. Maybe the right decision to play him. That is a big-time block. Zinchenko has had to come off for them. Who did they bring on to replace Zinchenko? Okay. Ricky boy. We'll see if that's going to have any impact, but... In terms of control right now, I think we've had the bigger threats. That is a great ball to Son. He's yet to score this season, and he's not going to score now, though. He's going to assist Evanilson for his 3rd goal of this season. 2 games, 3 goals. Evanilson proving to be that big-time signing we needed. He's the Harry Kane replacement, and, I mean, he is shining. Because can you imagine the pressure right now in London being Kane's replacement? He's finding it comfortable. Richarlison is definitely sat on the bench, just absolutely devastated that a new Brazilian's been signed and bagging goals. Gabby Jesus isn't doing anything for them either. It's all about Evanilson right now. And as we hit half-time, 2-0 to the good. In the North London derby, are things turning around for Tottenham? I think so. That might not be the case should they score an early goal here into the second half. Because the momentum in Football Manager can swing just like that in an instant. So we really need us to win the ball back and this actually to be our highlight and us to have been tricked all along. Saka in a good position. Oh, it goes over the bar. We can relax for a minute. I need the lads to breathe for a minute and we need to just settle down. We have forced them just a consistent long shot, which is fine. I'm okay with that. Maybe it's time now for us to have a highlight. Maddison has been really good so far. That's into Evanilson. Down to Bentancur. Oh, Bentancur. He's going to make it 3-0 in the North London derby. Can you imagine scoring that screamer in the North London derby? And also, I could tell you right now, Arsenal fans will be leaving the stands as we speak. There's no way that they are hanging around for this one. They're gone. Seeing Bentancur smash that into the back of the net, you're leaving. And I think at this point, I might make some substitutions. Eric Dyer's aggressive. Don't particularly like that, but I'm going to make some substitutions that kind of favour bringing on some of the younger players. Let's get Sarr on, and let's get Fm23 on as well. And I think we'll make 3 for now, but I'm eyeing up Kulusevski and Son. Do you know what? Screw it. Kulusevski's going to come off now. He's had a good game. I'm still nervous with him reoccurring that injury. And Edwards does offer such a threat out wide because he's so quick. So when we do win, that was the idea, right? When we win the ball back, you can spam it to him out wide because there is just going to be so much space against this Arsenal side for him to run into. Can we make it 4? Satalo! Oh, over the bar. It would be extremely embarrassing for Arsenal if we could make this 4. I mean, but that would be good for us, right? Tottenham fans right now must be reveling in this. It's time to take off Son. Another good appearance because he's actually got an assist in this one. And Richarlison's going to come on for Son. And yeah, I think that's how we'll play it. This should be game done and dusted. They brought on Eddie Nketiah. I mean, they've made quite a few changes. It's not working for Arsenal. It has worked for Tottenham, though. Can we go and bag a 4th goal? That would just tip this one off in a beautiful fashion. Basuma is going to come back out to Edwards. What can Edwards do into Basuma? It's not going to land to anyone, is it? Richarlison. Keep thinking it's going to get back to Edwards. I would love for Edwards to get a debut goal, but that should be clear. Oh, they might actually have a little bit of a break on now. I feel like we've got back in numbers, but I was going to say there's a ball on there. Well defended Pedro Porro. It's going to be one of those super long highlights that does lead to a goal. We just don't know when. Fm23 is going to try and find Sarr. I mean, the defending on show right now is great, but this highlight is just prolonging Arsenal's pain. This could be our pain. I want a clean sheet. Smith Rowe, Vicario, lovely. And that was the last act of the game. And there we go. 16 shots, 5 on target for us, 12-2. I think the biggest key here, we forced them to long shots. And when we won the ball in midfield, we got it out as quickly as possible. And that worked. Bentancur, wow, he had a beautiful game. And I believe in real life for Tottenham, if he can stay fit this season, he'll be a really good player. But there we go. We batter Arsenal and we beat Chelsea. Our first London derbies as manager at Tottenham, not too shabby. Considering we've made wholesale changes to this team, I think the changes look like they're paying off. And as things stand, even though it is a game in hand, the table are making things look like they're paying off because we have 16 points and currently sit joint top with West Ham. So all I would love to do this season is get top 4 and continue to build this team. Because I believe what we've got right now is a huge improvement, especially seeing someone like Evanilson come in and bag 3 goals in 2 appearances. And we're still yet to see the best of Edwards, Thuram, and we've got Pedro Gonçalves, who arguably was the biggest transfer of the window to come back from injury, and hopefully he will find some form. But that is going to be it for this episode, boys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I am just so excited to continue this. I'm having such a good time playing Football Manager again on the channel. I hope you guys are enjoying it. If you could show that support by smashing the like button, that would be greatly appreciated. I will see you for the next episode, where hopefully we can keep this run of form going.